Hello, my name is Jennifer Carey Cool, and I'm from Moose Factory, Ontario. I'm co-chairing this 12 Days of Christmas campaign with Jane Scanlon. Our hope is to restore the historical site of the St. Thomas Church of Moose Factory, Ontario. This church has a long history with our community, along with the grave site that's involved with the church. It's been sitting there for generations and generations. Many people married in this church. Many people, laid to rest at the burial site of the St. Thomas Anglican Church. Many memories for many families that have been, growing up in Moose Factory, Ontario. One of the reasons that I became involved with this project is I've often gone to the church to visit family members that have passed on, and my uncle, Oliver Chum, for many years stayed and maintained the graveyard. He's passed on now as well. My parents are there, all of my brothers, many aunts and uncles. My mom was part of the ACW for many years with the Anglican Church. Her name was Barbara Carey, and her husband, James Carey, was part of the Anglican Church as well. They are both in the burial site with Moose Factory, along with my grandparents, Walter Chum, Jane Ferry's Chum, Annie Smallboy, and George Carey. There's so many of us that have been part of this church for many years with so many memories, and our hope is to restore this church and the site where we can, have a beautiful place to go back to and go and visit and make sure that, we have that history that comes with it. The main thing is the history. Like I said, there's so many good memories. I've gone to weddings there for my sisters, my brothers, along with many family members. And I'm hoping one day that we raise enough funds to restore it into a site where we could go back and visit. And I hope that we get donations and more people that take an interest in this project. And like many families from Moose Factory, I come from a large family, and I'm hoping that, we take that pride in looking after that site, that especially the grave site with me, because like I said, there's so much history to it. And, I'm really reaching out and hoping that people will take part and send some donations in. Thank you.
Greetings from Pakenham, Ontario. My name is Jane Scanlon, and Moose Factory Island was my home from 1964 through 1969. My father, the Reverend Jim Scanlon, was the priest at St. Thomas Anglican Church, and he had a shared ministry with the Reverend Redfern Lutic. I have wonderful memories of St. Thomas at Christmas time, particularly the hymns sung in Cree, and also the church being so beautifully decorated. I'm really honored to be a co-chair for the 12 Apostles campaign for the restoration of St. Thomas. And one of my Christmas gifts this year will be to donate $144 towards the 12 Apostles campaign. And I invite you to consider doing the same, either by giving smaller gifts over the 12 days of Christmas, or a one-time gift of $144, or a gift of your choice. So Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Yvonne Morrison, and on behalf of the group I work with, St. Thomas Church has been in the lives of my family, friends, and relatives for a long time. No matter the faith or end-of-life journey, the church community represents many celebrations for children, youth, and marriages, healing, and memorials. My mother, like so many women, were our first social activists, working with children, young people, families, the poor, shut-ins, and the sick, supporting through their time, and fundraising through potlucks, rummage sales, and sewing, to name a few. They taught us about kindness and prayerfulness, being active in helping families with hardships and grieving, and healing through music and prayer to families in need. I am proud to be supporting the restoration of St. Thomas Church especially on behalf of the respect and collective faith of my family and friends. Miigwech.
This is Bill Ludet. I've been asked to do a promotion for the restoration of the St. Thomas Anglican Church. I wish to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in the coming days. And I have very much interest in this and the church being restored because I was baptized there. I probably will be laying nearby after a few years. And my mom went to sing in that church lots of times, and that's when she sang, I've heard that the angels stopped and listened. And I've attended many funerals there, many weddings, and many other ceremonies. Thank you very much.
What's it? We are from Moose Factory. We grew up here. We were baptized here at the St. Thomas Anglican Church. We attended church as children. I went to Sunday school there. We were married there as well 52 years ago by Reverend Canon Ludet. We support the restoration of the St. Thomas Anglican Church.
Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas to you all. Miigwech.
Hi, my name is Andrea Jolly, and I'd like to say a few words on behalf of the Jolly Ganyu clan. We've chosen to participate in fundraising for the restoration of the St. Thomas Anglican Church. And as you can see, the St. Thomas Anglican Church holds many memories for our family. It's where my parents were married. It's where we've attended many weddings, funerals, baptisms, and other ceremonies. My grandfather, George Jolly, was also hired to build an extension that was part of the church, and it's still standing today. So thank you for listening. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Jolly Ganyu clan.
Hello, my name is Mary Mabey. I'm a co-deacon with Grace, Reverend Grace Delaney in St. Thomas Church in Moose Factory.
We did put on our gowns, the choir gowns that we wore from the old church. The reason why we're doing this video is to seek assistance from people across Canada who may be interested in supporting in the restoration of the old St. Thomas Church, because I know there were a lot of young people that were married there, and my brother and my mother were buried from that church. My children were baptized in the old church. So it holds a special spot in my heart for me, for my family, and I hope it's going to be a new beginning. Of course, Merry Christmas to all of you, and thank you so much for your assistance, for your willingness to support us.
And I want to wish everyone, each and every one, a very Merry Christmas and the best in the year 2022.
Okay, good evening, and this is Anne Wesley, live in Moose Factory. I support the restoration of the Anglican Church. There's a lot of history in that church. It's very important for the elders in the community to keep that church. So I hope it's restored. Thank you all, and have a Merry Christmas.
Hello, my name is Melissa Chichu. I'm a member of the Moose Cree First Nation. I was raised in Moose Factory, Ontario. I support the restoration of the St. Thomas Anglican Church. The St. Thomas Anglican Church has huge cultural and historical significance for the people of this region. It's one of the many symbols of our identity as the inhabitants of a community that is older than Canada itself. Heritage is a topic that's very close to my heart. When I was asked to join the 12 Apostles Christmas campaign to save St. Thomas Church, naturally I said yes right away. I hope that you two will help support our campaign to save St. Thomas Church. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a safe Christmas. Take care.
My name is Deborah Fleming, and I'm volunteering as a team leader for the 12 Apostles fundraiser for the restoration of the historic St. Thomas Anglican Church in Moose Factory, Ontario. When I think of St. Thomas Historic Church, I think of community and tradition. Especially at this time of year, I am reminded of the church being a gathering place for families and celebration. This building called the people home for a family Christmas. The church bell is still rung to mark the arrival of the new year, and the steeple stands as a beacon guiding the people in and off the river during snowy storms and at dusk after a day out on the trails. The community is still called together at the site to honor the veterans and remember family at the annual Memorial Day celebration. This is where loved ones continue to be laid to rest. For a donation of $144, that's just $12 a day for the 12 days of Christmas, you can help keep the rich history of Moose Factory and the legacy of these family traditions alive. Please consider donating.
Hi there, I'm Danny Berg, and I'm Jane Scanlon's husband, and my father-in-law, the Reverend Jim Scanlon, also lives with us. A couple of years ago, he told me that he would love to go to Moose Factory again. And so I arranged the trip, driving us up to Cochrane, the three of us, and getting on the Polar Bear Express, and riding in Moosonee, taking a boat across, and we spent a couple of very happy days at Moose Factory, staying in that wonderful hotel. I fell in love with the North on this trip. I fell in love with Moose Factory, and I was in good company because Jim's always loved the North, having been born there. And when he started his ministry, it was with the Cree in northern Quebec, and then continued in northern Ontario. He loved the people of Moose Factory and all around James Bay, where he was visiting all the little Cree communities there. That was back in the 60s. Jim was also something of a historian, and he was a co-founder and editor of Ministicoke, the local newspaper, and each time they published it, he would run around the island with it, handing it out to everybody. Something he'd done once way back in Geraldton when he was a newspaper boy. Anyhow, he also wrote a bunch of stuff, a number of books about the Cree and the people in the North, and makes very good reading. Anyhow, back to the present day. Jane was asked recently to be the co-chair and one of the apostles for a little fundraising campaign. This church is a Carpenter Gothic church, and if you look it up on Dr. Google, you'll find there aren't too many of those, and it's got plugs in it, and there aren't any others like that. So it's got its architectural special features, but it's also intended to be a cultural center for the region, as all the people in James Bay come to Moose Factory for commercial purposes, for medical purposes, or to travel through to the rest of the Canada and the world. So Leona Boyd once played there, and the acoustics are wonderful, I'm told. And so the plan is to restore this building into something which could be a real blessing to families and communities in the whole region. And for me, it's also a wonderful reconciliation project, because the Cree and their friends, including me and maybe you, are working together to build something positive for the future, where things haven't always been so positive. So join in with me and with Jane and Jim, who've all given our $144, and it would be lovely if you gave $144 as well. Thank you very much.
Is the only plugged church in the world. What happened was when St. Thomas Church was built, it was at a time when there would be a flood in the spring sometimes. And one time there was a flood and the church was lifted by the flood, and floated away on the Moose River. So the people said, "Oh, wake up! Everybody go out and save the church." So they lashed onto the church with their canoes and boats, and they pulled it back to the original site. And the bishop said, "Drill some holes in the floor, let the water come in, sink the church." So they did, and then they put the plugs in the church, in the holes. And that's how it became the only plug church in the world. And the thought was, if there was ever another plug, then the cry would go out, "Pull the plugs!" And that's really the story of St. Thomas Church. It's rather an amusing story, but it's true.
Greetings, friends. I'm Archbishop Anne Drummond, privileged to serve as the Bishop of Moosonee. And I'm excited to be part of the new thing that is happening in Moose Factory as that community approaches its 350th anniversary in 2023. Plans are well underway through the tremendous efforts of the Moose River Heritage and Hospitality Association and its supporters to restore the iconic St. Thomas's Anglican Church, which has held a central place in Moose Factory for generations. I think it's fair to say that there isn't a family in that community which hasn't been touched by its ministry through regular Sunday services, through baptisms, confirmations, and weddings. Loved ones have said farewell to beloved family members in that place, and many continue to visit their graves in the cemetery. St. Thomas's has been a place of laughter and love, a place of joy and sorrow, a place of sadness and of bitter tears. And now there is a new vision for its future. It's my hope that this restoration project will bring about more than just the repair of walls, ceilings, floors, and windows, but will also bring about the restoration of broken relationships. As a church and as a diocese, we own and apologize for the role we played in past hurts with Indigenous peoples, and we are fully committed to peace and reconciliation and walking in a good way into a hopeful future. A restored St. Thomas's Church will be a gathering place for the whole community. And a restored St. Thomas's Church will continue to be an icon, a beacon of light, and a sign of hope and healing in our time. In this season of light, I wish everyone in Moose Factory a blessed Christmas, and know that I will be supporting the restoration of St. Thomas's project and keen to visit it in the future.